This year, with Hollywood mainly closed for business because of the coronavirus pandemic, the top paid actresses made their money from streaming deals, creative contracts, and good old-fashioned television. You see people like Pompeo and Viola Davis making the list this year, and that's mainly because of their work in broadcast TV, which really hasn't been the driver of the list in recent years. In recent years, it's been the box office. Some of Hollywood's most bankable actresses, like Scarlett Johansson, didn't appear on the list at all. She topped the list last year. She's a regular mainstay of the list, but her big film, Black Widow, didn't come out as expected in May. That meant that she didn't get those millions of back-end dollars she probably would have. We also saw streaming really making an impact. Actresses like Elizabeth Moss, who is on Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale. She makes $1 million an episode on that show, and that was enough to propel her on the list this year. Hollywood might be moving closer to equity in terms of race and gender. I think that there have been real strides in the past 3 years since the Me Too movement took the industry by storm, but there's still a huge gender pay gap. This year's 10 highest paid actors earned a collective $545.5 million. That's more than double the $254 million made by the 10 highest paid actresses. A big part of that is just the roles available. According to a 2019 study, only 12.3% of over 1,000 popular movies from 2007 to 2018 had gender-balanced casts. And across those movies, fewer than 35% of speaking characters were women. So number one on the list is Sofia Vergara. She earned $43 million. She's a mainstay on the top earning actress list. She pulls in $500,000 per episode for Modern Family, and she also makes over $20 million in endorsement deals. She endorses everything from jeans at Walmart to a line of furniture at Rooms to Go. But this year you saw her really doubling down on broadcast TV. She also is now a judge on America's Got Talent, and that pays her at least $10 million. Number two on the list is Angelina Jolie. She earned $35 million. She's one of only 2 actresses on the list to pocket nearly all of her money from traditional films that go to the box office. Her biggest paycheck came from her star turn in The Eternals. That's the movie coming out next year. It's a Marvel movie that has a $200 million budget. Number 3 on the list is Gal Gadot with $31 million. She turned to Netflix this year, which is paying her big money. She earned $20 million for her role in Red Notice, which she stars in alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. That's a lot for a relatively new star, but Netflix has a $17 billion content budget this year. She's waiting for Wonder Woman 1984 to hit theaters. It was delayed due to the pandemic, and that will be a big back-end payout if it's a hit. Number 4 on the list is Melissa McCarthy at $25 million. The comedic actress has her fingers in every pot. She's starring in 2 films directed by her husband, Ben Falcone. She has one on HBO Max and one on Netflix. And she also collects a 7-figure check for hosting NBC's Little Big Shot. Expect another big year next year when she plays Ursula in the live-action film Little Mermaid. Number 5 on the list is Meryl Streep with $24 million. And she's on for a number of films, but one of them she had a particularly creative contract for. So last August, director Steven Soderbergh announced that he was working on a small film, a kind of secret comedy with Meryl Streep called Let Them All Talk. Rather than have a studio put up the money, which is the traditional model, and then having to wait months or years for a box office windfall, Soderbergh and a partner spent about $3 million to get the film made. Meryl Streep and the cast signed up basically for nothing and trusted that Soderbergh would make a hit. By the time they were done filming the first day, HBO Max had shelled out $33 million for the film, according to one top talent agent. That left more than $29 million to split among Soderbergh, his partner, and the cast. Streep, the star, walked away with over $5 million for the small production. The rest of Meryl's earnings come from Little Women, which was a box office hit last December, and from Ryan Murphy's upcoming Netflix musical, The Prom. One thing you'll notice about the actresses on this year's list is almost all of them have some sort of streaming deal. Gal Gadot, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Elizabeth Moss, they're all cashing in on this arms race for content that's led by streaming services like Netflix, Apple TV+, and Hulu.